Good afternoon, everyone. This is Tony from our Homestead Skills. I hope you are all enjoying the heat as much as we are. Actually, Mark and I have never had an issue with it being too hot, although it can get uncomfortable, and sometimes you just have to turn that air conditioner on or turn the fans on or find a way to keep cool, and certainly keep hydrated. I think it's fairly important to keep hydrated in this kind of weather. Now, some of you may be rather surprised to learn that it's actually hotter here than it is down south in our Alabama homestead. And yes, we're going through another heat wave, and yes, this could be a year where the heat index is above average. We do have that happen as well. We do have years where the heat is above average, and we have years where it's below average, and this is one of them where it's above. But it's been 2 or 3 times now so far this summer that we've had heat warnings, and the heat has been it's been hotter here than in Alabama, so there was no escaping it. I know a lot of people thought, oh, you've got the best of both worlds, you can go up north during the summer and you'll keep a little cooler. And yes, normally it's probably about 5-6 degrees cooler here, and when we're not going through a heat wave, that's the temperature, the average temperature. The humidity isn't that far different. I believe that maybe even the humidity is a little bit less, but we have high humidity here as well. So fairly similar. The big difference, and the reason we love Alabama, is that we don't have the cold and snowy winters. And I think that even if we were to get a bit of snow, we're more central, but even if we were to get a bit of snow, it would last one day. Hey, I can live with that. Better than 6 months. So a couple of things. Mark came home yesterday after being with his buddy, and brought home a bag of luscious tomatoes. Are they ever nice and tasty? Homegrown tomatoes. Apparently his friend's neighbor has gone on holiday, and he's asked him to look after the garden, and I guess he's probably been able to pick more than he could use for his own purposes. And rather than letting them go to rot there, he told Mark that there was at least 4 times as many as what he's given Mark. And I think we have like 6 or 7 of these, and boy, are they tasty. Nothing like a homegrown tomato. Now, I haven't been really busy. It's been actually rather boring. Not an awful lot to do. I'm still waiting for the tomatoes to be shipped from either Mexico or California, wherever that is, or maybe Leamington. I have no idea where we get our tomatoes from in the fall, but we do get quarts or cases and bushels of them, either 25-pound or 50-pound bushels. And we get a whole slew of them anytime now. Perhaps they may even be in the market currently. I haven't looked this week, but I suspect this is the week that they will become available. So I'm preparing mentally to can up at least 150 pounds, maybe 200 pounds. Funny thing is that I'm down to my last probably 25 pints. I've never been that low. But I do have some canned up down south, and hopefully when we get back down there, we'll can up a whole bunch more if they're still available. If not, we'll make do with what we have, and I'll make sure that next year I prep a little more effectively. Anyway, so yeah, not much going on. I had occasion over the weekend to take care of a chore that I've had in mind for the last couple of weeks, and that was to get a very nice leather jacket altered to have the sleeves trimmed because they were way too long. Now, this leather jacket is not mine, it is Mark's, and it's like new, and he's never worn it simply because the sleeves are way too long. And I found somebody who apparently, hopefully, is very experienced at working with leather. And so I set off to drop this off, and on the way home I happened to pass by the Salvation Army thrift store. And I thought, okay, I mean, I could have avoided that route, but that would have been the route home anyway. So I thought, okay, well, I'll do a quick stop by, never expecting to find anything. It's gotten to the point where you really don't expect to see too much of anything that interests me, and maybe I've just become a little bit more careful what I spend my money on, that's for sure, a little more cautious, and perhaps it's just that, well, I don't want for a lot of these things anyway. It's not as though I don't have pretty much everything I need and use. But surprise, surprise, I happen to run into something that I certainly didn't need, but let me see if I can lift this. Oh boy, it's heavy. I found probably the largest cast iron skillet I have, and it is I wouldn't say it's one of the most sought after, that's for sure, but it is a Wagner's 1891. Got a little bit of rust on the bottom. The rest of it is, well, it's cleanable. And it has been used, but it is an 1891 original with the seasoning instructions on it. I don't know if you can see that on the camera, but that's what it is. And it is huge. It is 13 3/8 inches, and it is heavy. Let me put this down. Yeah, it's extremely heavy. And I don't have one that large. And I thought, okay, this would be a nice addition to take down south with my propane burner. It certainly will work on that burner quite well. And oh my goodness, I could make a meal for, I don't know how many people in that skillet. But yeah, certainly didn't need it. I can attest to the fact that I probably have about 30 skillets. And I had gotten to the point where I have stopped collecting cast iron unless it's something different, unusual. And admittedly, this is a little bit different and unusual. As I said, not necessarily one of the most sought after type pieces, but at least it was not a China-made. You know, I will walk away from anything made in China, or some of these that are just branded that are taking advantage of, you know, some famous chef or something. I walk away from those as well. But this one, as I say, is a Wagner's 1891 original. And that doesn't mean, you know, Mark asked me, is that the year it was made? I said, no, that's the year the company was founded, I guess, 1891. So it could be somewhat of an antique, but not very old. But that's fine. Walking out of the store with that was pretty funny. I mean, I had somebody say, so you're going to be doing a lot of cooking? I said, well, I'm going to be doing a lot of cleaning anyway. You know, it does have a bit of rust. Fortunately, just on the back. The inside seems to be that, you know, it was well seasoned and probably well used, and it has not rusted on the inside. I have no idea why the bottom rusted unless somebody left it damp someplace. But that should be pretty easy to clean. So, yeah, they had a matching smaller one. And I almost picked it up. Actually, I did pick it up. I was going to pick up the two of them, and I thought, well, now I have more than enough of these very small skillets that we never use. We tend to use the 10-inch one and the one that's slightly smaller. I believe it's an 8-inch. So we do tend to use those two sizes. And this one is, as I said, the biggest skillet that I have, and should be interesting. Should be interesting. Anyway, that was my awesome thrift store find that I haven't had in a long time. And I only paid $18 for this. So I'm quite happy to, even though I'm being extremely cautious what I spend money on these days, sometimes you just have to give yourself a little bit of a treat. And yes, having to carry two places is going to be tight, and we won't be able to do the renovations that we want as quickly as we want. We'll have to pace ourselves, but that's okay too. We knew that going in. So we're fine. Everything's good. And so, yes, I only paid $18 for this, which is a steal. It really doesn't matter if the going price is a little bit more, a little bit less. I don't think it's ever less. I did see this same thing on eBay, starting at $35 and all the way up to $200 for the same skillet. So if I saved at least half the amount by buying it, although it was not a necessity, I must admit. But if I even saved half the money, if I even sold it for $50, I will have made my money back and then some. So I'm all good. Anyway, this is Tony from Our Homestead Skills. Yep, just waiting for the harvest to start coming in hot and heavy. So talk to you real soon. Bye for now.